Good afternoon, everyone. I think we'll wait a few more minutes to see if others want to join. So hang on. I think Brian Hansen's going to sing to us. Is that correct, Brian?
Yeah, I don't think we determined what song would be best. Star Spangled Banner, maybe.
Well, I don't know.
It was Veterans Day.
Okay. All right, so great. Okay, well, we might as well get started. Thank you, everyone who has taken the time to join us. We really appreciate your doing so. I hope your semester is going well. Here in Blacksburg, we had a sudden transition to cold weather, and everyone has their space heaters on, trying to keep warm here in the Graduate Life Center. So I hope you're keeping well, as they say, and we will get started. Welcome, my name is Amy Supernaw. I am the Dean of the Graduate School here at Virginia Tech. And one of the important aspects of the graduate school is student support outside of academics, or actually within academics and outside. We are continually striving to do better with the supports that we provide. And to do that, we put out a student services survey, and wanted to talk just a little bit about the responses that we got, and also to hear more from the people who either didn't respond or did respond and wanted more information. So the way this is going to go is that I think I'm going to turn it over to Casey Lawrence, who's our data person extraordinaire, to talk a little bit about the survey, the development, and the data. Then I will take it back and then talk about the kind of major categories of issues that we heard in the survey, and then turn it over to the attendees to ask questions. And I think you need to use the Q&A function in order to do so. Casey, you want to take it away?
Of course. Give me a second to get the right screen here. All right, can you guys just confirm for me that what you see? Okay, that's good.
We're seeing presenters view, but that's okay.
You're seeing the presenters view.
It's not a big deal now.
You're not going to see my super secret notes or anything.
Oh, wow. And we'll get a preview of what you're going to talk about next.
Okay, I'm not going to take up too much time of this. I know there's both students and faculty on this call. So I think a lot of this we can focus on, what services are available to students, and how faculty can help provide some services, possibly in your departments, and partner with the graduate school as well, to kind of making sure that we're meeting student needs in a variety of settings. So just a little bit overview of the survey. This is administered every fall to all enrolled students. We used to just survey incoming students, but we found that student needs change year to year. So we figured by branching out a little bit further, we were getting a better picture of what all students need. Really, the purpose is to gauge just what supports and services students need as we're gearing up for the academic year. This is an anonymous survey, but students do have the choice to provide their contact information if they would like to be contacted by the graduate school about any of the identities that they share and resources available, or about specific events related to specific services that they're looking for as well. So we do, this year we did do a big reach out to a lot of the students as kind of a touch base and a point to really try and provide information about what is currently available. And then kind of the graduate school staff, we kind of take some of the comments and look at, okay, well, what are the gaps of what students say they need and what we're currently not providing. So this year we got just over 1,000 responses, which is just about 15% of the students. And that group is dominated by respondents in the Blacksburg campus and returning students. So this is just a brief overview of some of the identity groups and services that students self-identified. A big group was international students looking for more language assistance and services and just more ways to connect, as well as students with partners, students over 30, first-generation college students. And this is just, again, a sample of the list of the type of things that we've asked. So you saw one of the big groups that we asked is partner support for graduate students. This was a big area that our graduate students wanted more support on. A lot of graduate students move here with a spouse or partner and are looking for ways to get that person involved in the community. They may or may not have a job. They may need healthcare, insurance, help with getting oriented to the school system, that kind of thing. Just helping provide opportunities and connections for their partners. Dependence is also a big one. We ask about not just children, but any kind of dependent, although this does mostly focus on childcare, similar to those to support of partners, just getting connected to resources in the community, schools, activities, flexible childcare, flexible after school program, evenings, weekends when graduate students might be studying or doing work outside of the typical workday. And then another question we ask is just, what are some of the supports and services that you feel like you need or want to learn more about that we're currently not providing? Financial support is a big one. Both, being connected with jobs, but also money management, budgeting, those kinds of things came up, as well as, mental health, support groups. Just some students just want to connect and chat and just find commonalities to meet other students. And another one on here too was more virtual meetups. Coming out of the pandemic, some students still aren't comfortable in big groups, but also students at our extended campuses or who are attending classes virtually, or even just, for some students, it's the burden of having gone home and then having to come back when they're already off campus and they still want to find ways to connect without traveling so much. So virtual meetups was another one that came up frequently. Then also just want to draw attention to some of the other surveys that we do and we have access to on our website. We really try and get a lot of information from our students, and we really appreciate the level of participation that we generally have, because it gives us a lot of information and how we can help everyone at the graduate school. And that was just a really high level overview of the survey. There's a lot of information that I have access to, more specific program related responses about identities and services that I'd be happy to share. I think really, looking at the survey generally and what students are saying is a start. And, now we can provide information to everyone here about what is currently available and, what might some new opportunities be. Thanks.
Great, thank you so much. So before we get into some specific topics, I thought that it would make sense for the people in this group, the panelists, to introduce themselves as well. And so, like I said, I'm the dean of the graduate school, and this is at least part of my team. And as a team, we all have our own special knowledge and experience, and I rely on them for a lot of the student services that we have, and you can too. So I'm just going to call on people to introduce themselves. We'll do it in order of how my Hollywood squares are arranged. So it's just by accident. So first, Brian Hanson.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for coming to this conversation today. My name is Brian Hanson. I'm the ombuds for the graduate school community. So I'm just another one of the wonderful support structures that you have here in grad school. And specifically, you can reach out to me in those times where you might be stressed out by a difficult situation or maybe anticipating a stressful conversation or any type of conflict that is distracting you from the work that brought you here to Virginia Tech. And how I can be helpful in those situations is I provide a confidential and informal and impartial resource to really think through, what are the challenges that you're facing at this moment, and what might be some constructive ways to bring that forward. And I'm really here to help you navigate the situations in those times. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Lauren Surface.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Surface. I'm the Director of Student Services in the graduate school. Myself and my team, we do a lot of community building activities, social events, professional development, personal development, as well as manage the co-op process. So really just trying to connect students with different resources on campus and just helping improve work-life balance.
Great, thank you. Sharnita Lee.
Thanks. I'm Sharnita Lee. I'm Assistant Dean and Director of the Office of Recruitment, Diversity, and Inclusion. A lot of things under the umbrella, but primarily a lot of the inclusion and diversity programming. We just had an event an hour ago focused on sense of belonging for students. So focus on different things just to make sure the students feel supported during their time here as graduate students. I also manage the inclusion and diversity requirement, as well as one of the inclusion diversity courses through the graduate school.
Great, thank you, Sharnita. Janice Austin.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Janice Austin, Assistant Dean and Director of Admissions and Academic Progress. So I and my team were part of the process of your admission application and your decision letter to you for joining VT. So we're very excited to have you with us now. But my team also works with you as your progress to degree team. Certainly you'll have your primary academic advisor and your graduate staff coordinator and program director in your department, but know that there's also a team at the graduate school that helps you with those milestones. So submitting your plan of study, any number of our forms that you must submit and fill out for different changes you may need to be processing. The scheduling of preliminary or final exams. If you are writing a thesis or dissertation, reviewing that document for archiving, and also awarding your degree and issuing your diploma. So we're happy to work with you at any time as you progress to your degree. We're glad you're here and looking forward to supporting you as you complete your degree objectives.
Okay, great. Thanks, Janice. Kathy Grimes.
Hi, everyone, and thank you again for being a part of this. We look forward to chatting with you. I'm Kathy Grimes. I'm the communications director here at the graduate school. And a couple of my responsibilities are working with our GAs and getting information out on our various social media platforms. So we're working hard to communicate with you that way, and also to manage the website. So if you find something particularly difficult about the website or have ideas about making it easier to use, please contact me. Our goal is to make sure that you can get the information you need as quickly as you need it and as easily as you need it.
Great, thank you. Casey Lawrence, I know you were there just a little bit, but go ahead again.
Sorry, I guess I didn't really introduce myself. I'm Casey Lawrence, the Director of Assessment and Strategic Data Initiative. So a big thing of what I do is the surveys that go out. So again, I really appreciate all of the students that do take the time to fill out those surveys. It really helps inform what we do here. Then the other side of that is I get as much of that information onto our website as possible for colleges, deans, faculty, program directors, to have access to their students' responses to those surveys and provide them with information as well.
Great, thank you. Carrie, Mayor?
Hi, I'm Carrie Mayer. I am the assistant to Dean Surfernaw. So if you need to set up an appointment with her ever, please contact me and I will help you with that. And then I'm also the operations and training coordinator for the graduate school. Happy to be here.
And Kenneth Wong.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kenneth Wong, and I serve as Associate Dean for the Graduate School. And I am based in Northern Virginia at Falls Church and work with all the programs in the DC area primarily, but also collaborate with all my colleagues wherever the graduate school is. So good to see everyone.
Great, thank you. So when we took a look at the responses to the survey, we also looked at people were able to put in specific questions about services that they were interested in or services that they felt we should have. And so we went through and kind of categorized them into a number of different categories. And those include academic support, financial, housing, international student resources, language skills, library, mental health, non-traditional student groups, ombuds, parenting or dependent care, social, stress management, general support groups, veterans, and extended campus-specific questions. So we're happy to address or to follow up on any of those particular items or any others, but let me ask a question. I'm curious to see who responds to this. Say I'm a graduate student, I don't know who to contact. How do I go about asking a question?
Well, I'll jump in and then please others feel free to add to it. So I think there's a number of different ways. Certainly we have physical locations. There's the Graduate Life Center on the Blacksburg campus. There's also physical office spaces for Kenneth and the team up in the Northern Virginia Center on the Haycock Road in Falls Church. So walking in to see us is always an option. We do have email addresses, so you can email us at grads@vt.edu, and any number of staff can absolutely respond to your email. We also have a number of different phone numbers that you can call. There's certainly those in Blacksburg, there's those in Northern Virginia, so feel free to reach out by phone. And we also have an option to do Zoom advising if you need that for academic progress, or certainly I'm sure other folks that are on this call, their teams would be willing to set up a Zoom advising or a Zoom meeting if that is needed for you as well. So whatever way is most comfortable for you all, we are absolutely open and welcome to engage in any of those ways. And I would allow other folks to please jump in too.
I would just add that just know that students can come to us, even if it's a question that might not deal with the graduate school, if you just don't know where to go. So we get a lot of those questions in 120, our kind of lobby receptionist space in the graduate school. Students come in and they'll ask questions that might not have anything to do with us, but we can connect them with Cranwell or Hokie Wellness or Rec Sports or whatever it may be. So just know that you can come in even if it's nothing at all related to graduate school.
And I'll share too. I think, as Lauren said, the SHIP or the Suite 120 is a great place to come in, because you'll find a lot of the student services are housed here, and so we can typically answer the questions or get the help that you need. And sometimes, you know, those questions you're unsure, or you're not always thinking of the best way to ask the questions, and that's where the ombuds can come in, and I can help navigate in situations as well and make connections, even outside of the grad school, whether you need to connect with Cranwell or, someone within your department. You're welcome to reach out to this office.
Great, thanks everyone. So I think at this point, I will open it up to questions. Were there any questions that were submitted ahead of time? No? Okay, we had that as an option. So Kathy is busy putting, and Casey, links to all of our website resources and there are a lot of them. I mean, the difficulty that we all share is trying to organize the information in a way that other people can find it. And so some of the questions that came up had to do with things that we do have resources for, but somehow we were not communicating them appropriately. And one of the ones that comes up quite frequently that surprises people, I think, is the career resources. When you think of career and going to the Career Center, it does feel very undergraduate. It feels very much like it's writing your resume and dining etiquette and things like that. And those are absolutely important and helpful services that are available for everyone. But the career services does have some expertise in helping graduate students find connections. We have some amazing advisors that work with the graduate school quite frequently and really can help you figure out how to navigate the life after graduate school. And you know, even down to things like you can get some clothing for interviews and things like that if you need. So it may feel like the Career Center is only for undergraduates, but it's not. And they have some amazing facilities and really great advice that can be given, as well as you can get your picture taken and good fun stuff like that. So feel free to put questions in the Q&A if you would like. I'm happy to do that.
And I would mention
right.
this year, we have dedicated career and professional development people now for the Northern Virginia region, the DC area. And that counselor in particular has a lot of specialty with folks who are mid-career, you know, who are looking to make career transitions, not necessarily getting their first job. So a lot of different resources depending on where you are in your career arc.
Great, thank you. So another area that I think is underappreciated maybe is the library. The library staff are not just there to check out books. They actually tend not to do that very much anymore. The library is involved with a number of different things that we work with. You can have thesis help. There are lots of workshops on open access and data management and all kinds of things. And we do have a graduate school librarian as well, who you should feel free to contact if you have any questions on really anything to do with data, data management, library resources, finding strange documents that you might need to find for your dissertation, et cetera. And then Kathy, can you put the list of the graduate program directors in the chat? So we work closely with all of the programs, graduate program directors and graduate coordinators. And just the graduate program directors tend to be faculty who are overseeing the graduate programs in the departments. Graduate program coordinators tend to be staff members who are working closely with the graduate program director to do all of the administrative work around your graduate programs. They are awesome resources. If you need anything, they are really helpful and know a lot about your specific programs. And so talking to them is also absolutely an option. And if they don't know the answer, they'll send you to the right place.
Dean Supernat, I'm not the expert to talk about this, but I certainly think it might be timely for us to mention Timely Care and the resources that are there for graduate students through the resource that was launched this fall for students and now faculty and staff as well.
Sure. Who wants to take that, Brian?
Well, I'll jump on that because that I was going to ask you a question too, Dean Surfernaut, because you shared some great data about the assessment of that timely care. I work hand in hand with the folks at Cook quite often because conflict also affects us with our interpersonal health as well, mental well-being. And one of the things that I hear often as well, Cook is always overwhelmed with undergrads, so related to that sense again. And now we do have many opportunities for folks to engage in counseling, and Timely Care is one. It's 24/7 app that allows you to access both web conferencing, so virtual conferencing, or telephonic counseling services, at your convenience. And that's where I would like to hear kind of the data of how that's worked out so far. But one of the things that you mentioned was that since the beginning of offering this timely care at the beginning of the semester, it also has alleviated some of the traffic at the Cook Counseling Center, which, might provide more opportunities for those that feel like, well, if I'm going to talk about something, I really want to do so with someone in person. And, we also need to remind folks that we do have an embedded counselor here in the Graduate Life Center who is Rita Klein, and she is down on the ground floor of the GLC and takes both scheduled appointments, so makes appointments with individuals, but does have drop-in hours 2 times a week. And so, do know that we try to provide a comprehensive coverage to, provide space for, mental health related challenges to be addressed.
And there's a counselor in Northern Virginia as well, right, Kenneth?
That's correct. So Julie Kaplan is the resident counselor for Northern Virginia. She is based in Falls Church, but periodically circulates around to the different sites in the DC area. So if you need to reach her, you can certainly reach out through either Cook Counseling or you can reach her directly. Her name is Julie Kaplan, and I can put her contact information on the chat.
Okay. And then Kenneth, you were going to share some other resources. Carrie, can you stop sharing the timely care? So, and then Kenneth, are you able to share your resources?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Second. Okay. So very briefly, this is the website for the Northern Virginia Center, and you'll see that, like most websites at the university, it doesn't give you a whole lot of things to do other than press this one button over here. But if you would like, you can go to the menu, and it has a breakdown of a number of different categories: prospective students, current students, international students, and then other useful links that are helpful if you want to think about things kind of hierarchically like I do. So for example, if you go to current students, there's then a list of resources that are available here. The graduate school is also the host for the Hokie One Stop. That's this tab. This is designed to be kind of a comprehensive listing of services that are available to students in the DC area. Some of these are based locally. Some of them are based in Blacksburg or elsewhere, but all of them are available. And in the box over on the right, as we would typically see, there's contact information. If you ever have a question, I would echo what my colleague said before. Don't hesitate to ask. We can happily refer you to the right location. So this is a long sort of list of services, and I would just highlight the counseling entry here is available. So Dr. Kaplan's contact information, office hours is there, and then there's also information about timely care, because it is available to everyone, no matter where you are as a student. You don't have to be in the Blacksburg campus or even in the DC area campus. You can access it from wherever you are. So let me go ahead and stop this share so it goes back to.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Lauren, you were going to ask about or talk about some of the information sharing?
Sure. I think the best way that we know how to get information out to all graduate students is through our GLC weekly. I say all, I should say Blacksburg-based grad students, through our GLC weekly email. So that goes out every Monday. We automatically subscribe students to that. It's a Google group. Students can unsubscribe themselves if they want, but we don't encourage that. They can also add themselves at any point to in the Google group. But I mention this because it has so much information for students in this email, anything from current events for that week to upcoming events to admin announcements, but also what students really look for are the GA openings. You know, everyone's looking for funding. But even the faculty and staff on this call, this email can be important for you as well, because it is a way for you to advertise any GA openings you might have. You can send that to us and we can advertise it for you. That same content is in the weekly email, is also in a GLC weekly blog that anyone can access. So even if you're not a grad student or on the Google group, you can access that as well. So that's just one way we wanted to highlight some of the things that we do and how we get the information out to students. And I see Janice is asking me to talk about something else real quick, so I can talk about Gobbler Connect. And yes, Mary, I could share the GLC weekly blog, or maybe Kathy can put that in the chat for me, please. But Gobbler Connect, yes, Gobbler Connect is a resource through Student Affairs. It is a website where you can go and search for over 800 different student organizations on campus. They can be anything from culture-based to sports to music, you know, departmental. There's so many different options. They actually have a graduate student filter now, so you can go and search for just ones that are labeled as graduate student organizations. Certainly graduate students can also be a part of other organizations. There's plenty that have an undergrad grad mix, but it's a way to you know, find ways to get involved. I have students that come to me every now and then that are just struggling to find friendships, to find connections, and I often start there. What are your hobbies? What are you interested in? Can we get you connected to some groups? So it's a really good resource, and we can put that link in the chat as well.
Great, thank you. I've got a question in the Q&A. One barrier to accessing resources for graduate students, such as food stamps, is that many GTAs have an official salary just above eligibility, when in reality, the semesterly comprehensive fees make them have a limited income of SNAP users. Can the graduate school incorporate the fee into the stipends and contracts so more students can qualify for the services? It's a good question. I do not know the answer to that question, and we don't have a finance person on the call right now to answer that, but it's an excellent thing to look into, and I will definitely do so. Thank you for that. I should note that Bill Huckle, who's one of our associate deans here in the graduate school, has also joined us. Bill, did you want to just introduce yourself and say what you do and what people might contact you for?
Sure. Thank you, Dean Surprenant. My name is Bill Huckle. I'm one of the associate deans on the Blacksburg campus, so one of Kenneth's counterparts here in Blacksburg. So let's see. I mean, I interact some with individual students, and of course, like everyone has already mentioned, I'm happy to be a conduit for referral if need be. But please, if there are issues that I can at least help find the resources for to solve, please don't hesitate to contact me. More, I guess, officially, I'm involved in program and course development, certificate development across campus, and have a particular interest in the interdisciplinary programs, both the what we call the IJET programs and the individual PhD programs. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Let's see. One of the other things that I wanted to mention is that for graduate students are in a position sort of in between faculty and student. And there are some good things about that. And one is that you can pretty much access all of the things that are available to undergraduate students, as well as many of the things that are available to faculty, particularly the teaching resources. So our Center for Institutional Research, Teaching and Learning, CIRTL, holds a series of workshops and has online resources for teaching and for managing classrooms and doing syllabuses and all of that other stuff. So keep apprised of what they're offering, because almost always you can access those workshops, et cetera, as well. Other things we want to highlight that came up in the survey as people being wanting answers to.
I think, Dean, you may also want to note that as things come up, you often address these things in your weekly update that comes out on Fridays. And we also archive that. So if someone misses it or it gets lost in email, I'll put in the link for that and you can go back and find out what's been there. But the Dean does address, some of the things that have come up. As we find information out, we will share it on that, but also opportunities, so many opportunities for professional development, ways that for those who are interested in teaching and scholarship and things like that, so many things. And she learns of them and she shares them.
There is a feedback link on the end of every weekly update. And so if you have feedback, if you have topics you want to know more about or questions that you have, you can also ask them there. Resources for families. Who would like to tackle that? Lauren, maybe? Or you want?
Sure, I can think of a few things maybe. So we do have the Little Hooky Hangout, which is cooperative play group for ages 2 to 5, I believe. Megan Rieger, our graduate child care coordinator, manages. It is at a facility off campus in a church building that we rent. So it has reduced tuition for graduate students who donate some of their time helping with the daycare or the child care. But it is it's a great savings for graduate students or really anybody who participates in the program. So right now I know that they do not take infants, but it starts around age 2, or I think there's a little bit of flexibility.
18 months, I think, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I know that we have that. Marin, the Graduate School of the Women's Center and GPSS just wrapped up an event that we had this week called Little Hooky Hand-Me-Down, which was an opportunity for grad students and others to come in and get free clothing for children, toys, bottles, all kinds of stuff. It was a great success. There was so much stuff. So I know that Marin works on those types of activities. We do have a listserv that we kind of started, and we don't have a lot of names on it yet, like a Google group for spouses and parents and things like that. I really would like to expand that. That's one area we'd like to grow, is to get more resources out on a regular basis to our grad students that may have children or are married with or have partners. So that's one thing we are working on.
Great.
I'd also
Brian.
like to.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
I was just
Jen.
going to also add on the topic of families that if you do have children that are a little bit older in age and you're looking for a few hours out, and that the Women's Center partners with one of the sorority groups on campus to provide, I believe it's about 3 hours of evening care for children that are toilet trained, that you could have a night out with a friend, partner, or spouse. Or if you just needed a couple hours of quiet to yourself or to do a little bit of research or attend a meeting or something, check out the Women's Center. They occasionally have those opportunities as well.
Great, thank you. So, Brian, can you answer the question in the Q&A or speak to it?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's one of the areas building on the data that we heard needing support for, balancing those other domains that we are working through, whether it's our family, our personal lives, and how to, give presence there and, um, give due presence to our academic work here. And, we have a lot of resources available in that domain. Trying to just think of a good way to kind of tie it together to the family aspect first. When issues come out, we have what's called the work-life grant here in the graduate school, which does provide an opportunity to disconnect from your assistantship duties if you're on an assistantship for 6 weeks. So that's something to consider when struggles within your personal life start to interfere with your ability to balance your research or your academic progress. When it comes to financial struggles, the Dean of Students Office has a wonderful program called the Student Emergency Funds, where they can provide, one-time grants that are not loans, they're true grants to help overcome some financial stresses. And, it's a wonderful program where, people that I've referred, I've not heard anybody say that they haven't received at least some level of funding there. I hear on average from the Dean of Students Office, it's around $900. So it's not, insignificant, but it's provides at least some level of support. But when people are encountering struggles, I do invite you to reach out to the Ombuds office and to talk about this. Like I said at the beginning, it's a confidential and informal conversation. So it truly is that. It's really a conversation about what can be helpful to work through some of these challenges that are distracting you from the work here at Virginia Tech. And I'm happy to help point people in the direction of those that can help, whether it's, a resource like the Work-Life Grant or the Student Emergency Fund that's done through the Dean of Students Office, or a resource that the Women's Center provides, or any of the wonderful support structures that Virginia Tech has invested in for the community here.
So there's also a very limited short-term loan fund, and it says undergraduate type of student loan, but I've been told that this is not just undergraduate. So if you go to that page, there's like federal subsidized loans, parental loans, alternative loans, but then at the very bottom in a tiny, tiny print, it says short-term loans. And those short-term loans are able to cover any sort of expenses up to $600. I'm working with the Dean of Students Office to expand that and to make it a little more friendly, but that is available. And so if you just need a really tiny short-term loan, you can actually go there. Unfortunately, there's a timetable and they haven't updated it, but I've been told that it is in fact still still working.
Dean, that's a great resource as well. Are you aware if that would be restricted to domestic students only, if it's through financial aid?
It doesn't say, no, it would not be domestic students because it's university funds, I think. Yeah, so way down the bottom there, that little tiny short-term loan thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. And it looks like it hasn't been updated, but I've been told that it is still in operation. So you can contact the Dean of Students. Oh, actually, financial aid is where that one is going through. Sorry, Office of University Scholarships and Financial Aid. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm working to make it a little more friendly than that, but at the moment, that's what we've got. Okay, thanks, Carrie. So I think the take-home message here is that you have a support system that's available for you. We can't solve every problem, but we are definitely here to listen and to do what we can to support you to be successful, whatever you define success to be. We sometimes will send you to someone else who has some more expertise. We might, Brian spends a fair amount of time mediating or talking with getting groups together who might otherwise have difficulty talking to one another. We have lots of data available for you to dig into what possible careers and things you might have outside of once you finish your degree, etc. So we are here and we listen and we're really I think committed to helping you succeed. Any other questions? Okay. Anyone else on the call want to chime in with anything that I've forgotten to mention or to note?
Well, I just want to really raise up the work that Sharnita and Lauren do to build community here within our graduate school community. And, going through this graduate education and research endeavor, feels like a solitary effort, but it is so much easier when you have those peers that can champion you and support you through this. So, please take a look at all the programs that they put out there, because it can help resolve a lot of these challenges just by having that peer support and network to rely on.
And I'll build on that by saying that the best way to find out about those things, the best two ways to find out about those things, are to read the listserv that comes out on Mondays. And aside, if you're in the DC area, read the newsletter that comes out up there too, because there are an enormous number of opportunities, social and other opportunities available up there that Kenneth's team does an outstanding job sharing so that you don't feel alone up there. But read the listserv on Mondays and then read the Dean's weekly update on Fridays. Both of those contain opportunities, social, professional development, all kinds of things. So we do work hard to get that information out and share it with you.
But also, if you're just tired and want to go home at the end of the day, that's okay too. So some people thrive more on community than others, and I think knowing yourself and knowing what you need in order to thrive is really helpful as well. And so don't feel guilty about not taking advantage of the social things that are going on. It can be overwhelming, and sometimes we just want to go home and put our feet up and read a good book or snuggle with the dog or do something like that. Okay, so we are copying all of the links that are in the chat, and we'll be sending them out to all of the people registered, whether they were able to make it to this or not. Thank you for the suggestion. I think we're going to do that anyway, but thank you, really appreciate it. And I'll make sure to look into that idea that that was provided about the fees. I'm not sure if it's possible or not, but I will look into it. Thank you. Okay, well, again, we're here for you. Please reach out if you need anything, and we will see you at some point. Thank you. Take care.